What is going on, guys? My name is Kenji and welcome back to my channel. Hopefully it's not the first time that you're watching one of my videos, but in case it is, I'm now a fourth year medical student studying King's College London, and I am so sorry guys, I know it's been a whole minute, but I'm finally back with another video. And before starting off the study with me day in the life video, I want to take a second to explain to you guys where I've been for the last like 4 or 5 weeks of not uploading videos. So over the last videos I filmed, you guys may have seen that I was actually in Norway. Really funny story, but long story short, I was actually supposed to be there for a quick break from medical school. I packed like one small backpack to carry onto the plane, and I was only supposed to be there for a 4-day trip as a break from medical school. But as soon as I landed in Norway, coronavirus happened and the UK went into lockdown for a couple of weeks. So I actually decided to stay in Norway, just waiting to see how things go with the coronavirus, and I actually ended up being there for over 2 months. But after that, I finally ended up being able to come back to the UK, and I'm back in the UK now, and I'm isolating one of my best friends. The reason why I haven't been uploading recently is because of all of the kind of traveling, packing, moving to my best friend's place. It's all been a bit hectic, to be honest with you, but I'm finally settled down now, and hopefully I should be back to making regular videos for you guys. So this is my first vlog back for you guys in isolation. I hope you guys enjoy this productive day studying with me, and I hope you enjoyed the video, so let's go. So during summer holidays and during lockdown, I normally wake up around 9 AM. At this time, I normally lay in bed for around 15 minutes or so, always starting my day off with a quick prayer of gratitude for the day, and also having a think about the things that I want to accomplish during the rest of the day. At 9:15, I then showered, got changed, and headed downstairs. So at 9:45 in the morning, I then started off with breakfast. I had the fruits and fiber cereal from Aldi because of health and student budget and that. I also tried out the new Call of Duty Warzone Season 4, which I have to say is absolutely amazing. Add my gamer tag if you'd like to play together. I quite like starting off the morning when I'm not in uni, doing something quite fun like watching YouTube videos or sometimes even playing a game, just to give me a bit of energy and excitement to start the rest of the day. So after around 45 minutes of eating breakfast and being a waste man, I then began cleaning up the kitchen. For the last couple of weeks, I've been working on the dining table in my kitchen with my usual university setup that I used to have in my university room. I find it really hard to work in an environment that isn't clean and organized, so I like to start my day off by making sure it is. Whilst cleaning up the kitchen, I was listening to the Secret to Success podcast by Eric Thomas, which is another way to start my day off with a bit of motivation, and I highly recommend you check his podcast out. At 10:45, I then sat down to work finally. I started off by turning on my forest timer to 1 hour since the early morning and I have quite a lot of energy. Later on in the day, I will be setting my revision timer to a bit shorter, maybe like half an hour, when I start to lose energy and motivation. I started off by looking at my to-do list on TickTick. TickTick is a really good app that you can get on your Mac or your phone or your iPad, and it's really good because it allows me to organize my life into different categories. So I have categories of to-do lists for my life, for medical school, for my research, and for YouTube as well. After going through all the different categories, I then transfer the things that I wanted to accomplish today from these different categories and put it into my today category. The today category is a category I'll be keeping all of the things I want to accomplish today. The first thing on my to-do list was to go through all of my emails. I use Microsoft Outlook for this. I do this as the first thing in the morning so I know what else needs to be done for the rest of the day from any important emails that I may receive. A key thing is that I only check my emails and reply to emails once a day unless I have a really important one. This saves a lot of time and makes reading emails a lot more efficient, and also stops me from being distracted continuously by having to reply to emails for the rest of the day. Right now, the main emails I'm replying to are those about my research. I'm currently writing a research paper based on a lot of data that I collected from patients before COVID happened, so I need to coordinate all of the information with different doctors and different healthcare professionals to pull together all of the data so that I can write the paper myself. I then took the next half an hour replying to emails from students that had sent me in their personal statements for medicine to be reviewed. I really do enjoy reading different personal statements and finding out about why people want to go to university and pursue a career in medicine or biomedical science. And if you'd like to send me your own personal statement for me to review, a link to that is down in the description down below for all of that information. At 11:45, I then finally took my first 5-minute break. On my break, I replied to some messages and scrolled through Instagram. Make sure to follow me on Instagram if you haven't already. After 5 minutes, I then set another hour timer. This time I decided to start editing a YouTube video and switch things up a little bit because I was getting pretty bored. I started editing my How I Made £25,000 in University YouTube video, which is currently up on my channel right now. For all of my editing, I use Final Cut Pro, and if you'd like to see what equipment I use to film my videos and make these videos for you guys, a link to that is also in the description. Alright, so 1 PM, it was time for lunch, and my mate and I realized that McDonald's are back. And after a couple of months of being closed due to COVID, I cannot describe to you how happy we honestly were. We literally hadn't had a McDonald's in a couple of months, and I know this sounds so stupid and such a first world problem, but we were so excited. Cue the most dramatic McDonald's edit you've ever seen in your life in 3, 2, 1, let's go. So Richard, first Mackies you've had in a couple of months, right? When's the last time you had it?
Too long ago.
What did you rate it?
Give it an 8.
8 out of 10? I'm definitely giving this Mackies a 10 out of 10. It's been a whole minute since I've had Mackies myself, and just as amazing as I remember it was. So at 2 p.m. and after the most exciting meal I've ever had in my entire life, I then sat down for a research meeting and journal club which lasted for an hour. This is actually shot on a different day because I forgot to film this. A journal club is basically a meeting where my research team and I go through an important and recent research paper to discuss what the researchers did and what they found. This is really important because it means we get to keep up with the different papers and research that are currently in the field. So before the journal club actually started, I sat down and read the paper myself, just to make sure that when I'm actually in the meeting, I know exactly what the paper is about and I don't look like an idiot. After discussing the research paper in the journal club, we then had our usual fortnightly research meeting where we get a chance to talk to our supervisor about what we've been up to and also receive some guidance on what we should continue to work on. So this meeting in particular, I spoke to my supervisor about the research paper that I have been working on. I asked him a few questions about the paper and also asked for some guidance on what I should work on for the next 2 weeks. From 3 to 4 p.m. I then watched a lecture on chimeric antigen receptor T cells. It was actually called CAR T cell immunotherapy of solid tumors, learning from the clinic and lab in parallel. Although term has officially ended, this was a symposium given by one of the clinical researchers at our university hospital that was open to all staff and students. This is really useful for me because it means I get to keep up to date with recent medical advances and also keep up to date with medicine before moving on to my 4th year of medical school in August. I really need to make sure that my brain doesn't turn into a sponge over the next couple of months of summer. In order to watch this lecture, I was using Microsoft Teams for this. On the right, I had the lecture up on Google Chrome, and on the left, I had it open on Evernote, which I was using to write to my notes for the lecture. I've also been using a virtual private network called NordVPN to protect my internet privacy during all of these different important meetings. Alright, from 4 to 5 p.m. I was so tired and bored of working, so I decided to catch up with a friend over FaceTime and also play some Call of Duty with him. Jeez, also, I'm recording a day in the life, bro. Day in the life vlog.
Oh, get it.
Say what's up.
Get it. Hey, what's up? Yo, hey.
Is that it? Wow.
Yeah, don't focus too much. You know, the camera might not be able to take all that beauty. You know.
He's also in medical school, so I didn't actually feel that bad for procrastinating a little bit together. I think it's really important if you're not in uni to not feel bad about taking a break here and there, even if it's to do something as silly as playing a game. Of course, when I have exams coming up in med school, I definitely wouldn't have time to do this. Like in my last med school finals vlog, it was straight revision all day long. But otherwise, don't beat yourself up about it. Especially during a pandemic when we're in lockdown, it's really the small wins every single day that count and not, the long, intense revision sessions that, I would sometimes expect for myself. I definitely don't have the same expectations on productivity that I did when I was in term time. During lockdown, if I can just say to myself, if I accomplish, one really big thing every single day, I would honestly be happy about that. So if I maybe improve a relationship or work out or do work on my research paper, if I can just establish and do one big thing every single day and not revising 12 hours straight, I will genuinely be happy with that day. From 5 to 6 p.m. I then went back to editing my YouTube video. You may notice that every hour I tend to do something different. And I think it's really important for me because I tend to get quite bored very easily. So switching things up during the day every now and again really does help to keep things a bit exciting. So at 6 p.m. of sitting down all day, I then decided that it was finally time to work out. Although it is quite hard to find the motivation to work out without a gym, I've really been trying to work out a couple of times a week using resistance bands. It's been nice and warm recently, so I've been working out outside, which is a good way to ensure that I get that daily dose of my vitamin D in that. I've personally been using HIIT circuits for my workouts since I don't have access to any weights. And if you'd like to check out what I do for my workouts, I'll leave it somewhere on the screen. At 7 p.m, I was so happy because it was finally time to sit down and chill. But before I started chilling, I then quickly wrote down a few things that I wanted to accomplish tomorrow based on what I accomplished today. I also went through my tick to tick off everything that I've accomplished today, and I spent the rest of the evening chilling with my mate Richard. We watched an episode of White Lines on Netflix, which I'd highly recommend, and we also played a bit of, yup, you guessed it, Call of Duty Warzone. One thing that I've really been trying to do is journaling, which has definitely been helping me through the lockdown. So before I ended the day, I took a second to take a cheeky selfie of the two of us chilling so that one day I can look back and remember this day clearly. At 11 p.m, I then started getting ready for bed. When I get into bed, I usually put my phone away from me completely, grab my Kindle and read for around half an hour until I feel like passing out, which is when I finally stop and head to sleep. So that has been a day working with me during lockdown, guys. I do apologize that it's not as exciting as my last vlogs, but hey, what can you do when you're in lockdown? Thank you so much for taking your time to watch this video. And if you'd like to give any suggestions as to what you might see in the future during lockdown or just in general, please leave a comment down below. Please take a second to also make sure you're subscribed and like the video if you liked it, and I'll see you guys on the next one.